So, Minecraft is a blocky game. Oh. Okay. So I'm trying a new thing out. I have a lot of friends who do this. So I figured that I might as well be trying it again. If you don't know, I used to do this. I used to do PNG tubing stuff. This is a different model than I used to use, but it's, the same concept. Just kind of returning to this. Just because, especially once I start getting into the Navy, I'm not necessarily sure if I'm going to be able to get a face cam 24/7. So this will hopefully be a solution going forward. I don't know if I'll be using this specific one going forward, but, datacat, get it? Okay, well, anyways, skipping to the chase, I'm not gonna give you the whole voiceover about, what is Minecraft? What is a EULA? No, you probably know about all that. This is just another YouTubing video to get my opinions on it. It's honestly probably not gonna be anything new. I'm not really adding much to it. I just wanted to have a video to edit. Especially editing this type of stuff in it. So, yeah. Don't be expecting too much new from this, but yeah. So, if you haven't heard recently, Minecraft has released a new update. They're also getting sued. So, what did Minecraft do? Well, let's talk about the EULA first off. The EULA, or the End User Licensing Agreement, is the backbone of every company and how they enforce rules in a digital space. It's essentially that tick box you check off every single time that you run a game, or pretty much every application. I can't even think of one that, I can't think of one that doesn't have a EULA. And that's probably for good reason. It's the backbone of every single legal standpoint. The only one that you're gonna really find that doesn't have a EULA is indie games. And by the time they launch out to Steam or Epic, they should have one. Even if it's not really much to look at. For Minecraft, the EULA is how every player, server owner, and creator interacts with the game itself. Critics, mainly the YouTuber, let me look it up real quick. The YouTuber Kian Bros, a person who's stationed somewhere in the EU. I don't actually know where, but he's somewhere out of the European Union, so he's pretty aware of their own laws, especially Sweden's laws, which, if you didn't know, is where Mojang is based out of. Because even if Microsoft owns, the game, or the game company, the company still overall owns the rights to the game, so they still govern all of that legally. Fun legal things. But it's too selectively enforced at the moment, of which this affected Kian Bros to the tune of several $1,000s, because he was advertising he was advertising a really cool Minecraft project. But unfortunately, that got cut short because Mojang changed their EULA and started cracking the whip on him. Or rather, I don't think it was quite on him, but similar server owners, so he knew that he couldn't continue the project. And because of the selective reinforcement, namely the wording, the really vague, selectively enforced wording when it comes to firearms. Because it used to be tools and weapons, but now I think it's tools and firearms. Might be reversed on that, don't quote me on this. And that's interfering with him making a game about guns. And if you didn't know, many servers have it. Hypixel has guns. I think Mineplex back in the day had guns. There are a ton of police RP servers. Those are like the most popular ones when it comes to Minecraft and Gmod alike, if you weren't aware. And yeah, so there's a lot of guns in the games, a lot of drugs. They're typically, they're a little uneasy about the drugs because, you know, it's a kid game. But yeah. And another part of the EULA that's also been under scrutiny, it's been long time scrutiny, but it's resurfaced under the issue of the weapons, and that is loot boxes. Loot crates have been in the game, I don't actually know, probably as long as servers have existed. Because if you don't know, I've been playing since browser. Okay, I've been playing Minecraft since it was on a web browser. That's actually when my that's when my stepbrother first got the game for me. It was really a really wonderful gift. It was only 20 bucks, but man, I spent thousands of hours in the game. And even on the web browser, there wasn't traditional crates, like loot boxes and stuff, purely because the plugins didn't exist back then. You know, there wasn't much of a modding scene. But even then, there was, like, certain things you could have. Mainly via, you know, droppers when those got introduced, and dispensers. But it, you know, as soon as 1.6, 1.7 came out, we had full-on loot boxes. Even without plugins. You know, like, I was one of those people who pioneered a lot of command block stuff. I wasn't the first person, mind you, but I taught a lot of people how to make command blocks. Like one-block command block creations. And I pioneered it along with the guy who made that one website. I forget his name. But yeah, so I've been in Minecraft for a while. Loot crates have been here about as long as I have. And they'll probably be here longer than I will. But yeah. So Minecraft says that you can't use gambling-like mechanics, such as loot crates. Despite their stance against gambling, they've led to a lot of children getting gambling habits because they're still in the game. There's literally nothing preventing you from putting a loot crate or a loot box into the game. Because as far as US legal law is concerned, you cannot have a lose situation. Now, Epic Games actually got hit with this lawsuit recently because you can technically have a lose situation. To where if you get, you know, 0 items from something, or essentially get partially refunded, that can count as a lose condition, legally speaking. So that does mean that, like, some of these servers are breaking laws. You know, just straight up laws. And they're making children develop gambling addictions. And it's, you know, it's actually a case study right now. It's really interesting. It was also brought by Kian Bros. Gotta make sure to... I don't want to get his name wrong, because if I get that wrong, it would make this video really fun. But yeah, you know, it's a whole case study right now. And Mojang's inaction towards guns for the last, what, 12 years? And loot boxes for a pretty similar amount of time, means that their sudden action can be perceived as legally malicious, especially given how ambiguous their EULA is. And the crux of the legal challenge is the Europe versus the US legal fiasco, which is why Ian Bros, who's from the EU, is helping to tackle this, because the US has a lot of clauses against this. It's very hard for us to take action. We can submit complaints internationally. But as far as our personal consumer laws, Yeah, what consumer laws? So I don't even need to get into that. A lot of you guys know that. Like, any EULA we sign is immediately binding. There was that one case a while back saying that they can't be malicious, but these days, even if it's like 3 pages long, we're legally expected to read them in full. So unless as jargon that you're not expected to know as a random person, yeah, we have no legal standpoint on this. Someone from the EU is much better suited for all this. And in Europe, they have strict consumer protection laws, of which I believe Sweden counts as the EU. And in the US, corporations frequently use these EULAs to bind the consumer over the company, or under the company, I should say. Especially with like arbitration laws, which can make it so that you can't even sue the people, you know, the company in question. And above all, the Minecraft, the entire community right now is very divided for some reason. Because some people think that Mojang should, you know, protect its brand and platform from misuse, so they want the EULA changed. And other people want more accountability rather than just a simple change out of this. They want corporate accountability and fair practices within the gaming industry. And this would be a decent start to that. The outcome of the entire case, you know, could affect multiple companies. For one, the company that owns it, Microsoft. And if it affects Microsoft, that would affect Sony, Epic Games, even Apple, though Apple's been getting beat in the EU. They are not having a fun time. But yeah, so this is a big step, whether we want to admit it or not, because Minecraft isn't just a game. It's a platform that like millions of people, adults, kids, teenagers, use like every single month. I can't say every day. It has a lot to play with, not millions. At least I don't think so. But yeah, I think Mojang should take accountability. And even if you could argue that they're being unfairly targeted, being a big company and all, I think that the EULA is particularly malicious. And any time that you can punish a company for being this indignantly malicious, you definitely should. So if you haven't, their GoFundMe has, you know, I'll put it in the description. It has already reached their threshold. Sorry, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, so he has, oh my god. What country is this man from? Fucking Swedish kroner. Oh god, he's from Sweden. He has 1 million kroner. Okay, so he is about 113,000 USD. Which sounds like a lot, but when it comes to lawsuits like this, probably not as much as he needs. Now, I know I'm gonna be the last person to say, you know, go donate to this person, but at least keep an eye to it. Keep an eye on it, you know, throw a dollar or two if it's really your thing, if you want to punch up, so to speak. But, I don't know. I want to make a video on this, giving my thoughts. As I said, it's mainly just an editing test. It's probably gonna look pretty generic, just gameplay in the background. I might mess around with the whole avatar thing, but, you know, I thought it'd be kind of fun to make. If you want to see more content like this, I've been thinking of making more casual, long-form content, or short-form content. If you like this type of thing, make sure to like and subscribe. And, yeah, hopefully the next video will be more put together. This was just kind of hasty. I have some plans with friends later, but I just literally just got this set up, and I thought this would be a good time to put it to use. I don't know if I'll stick with VTubing, but I don't know. I've always liked watching a silly guy bounce on screen. Don't take that out of context. But I just have so many friends that do this. It's always been appealing to me. Plus, I don't need to worry about how I look on stream, which is a definite upgrade. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna go now. Alright, see y'all. Peace.